Hey Pam, so let's look at this problem together. It says we're to solve the quadratic equation by completing the square. Okay, now when we're completing the square, I'll see if I can write out some steps for you. The first step is to divide the coefficient of the x term by 2. So we're going to take the coefficient of the x term, which is 2, and we're going to divide it by 2. Not by 1, by 2. Now, the second step is we're going to square the answer found in step 1. Okay, so we square that. The third step is to add the answer from step 2 to both sides of the equal sign. Okay, so I'll do it up at the very top, and then I'm going to have to erase some of this to make space. So we would have x squared plus 2x plus 1 equals 24 plus 1. Okay? Now at this point, now we can factor this polynomial here, and we can factor it because it's a perfect square trinomial. The steps that we took in parts 1, 2, and 3, or steps 1, 2, and 3, was to do something to make it a perfect square trinomial. Okay, now how do we factor this? Okay, so you take your x, use whatever sign you have in that middle term, and then whatever number you found from part 1, from step 1, you put it there. That's going to be the number that goes there. And this is all going to be squared. Now, if you wanted to do it the long way, you could factor that trinomial out the long way, but you would still find that it's going to factor into x plus 1 squared, or which is the same thing as x plus 1 times x plus 1. Okay, so regardless of if you factor it out the long way or if you just take that shortcut I showed you, it's going to factor the same way. At this point, now we're going to take the square root of both sides. So what happens there is that the square root and the square, they cancel each other off. So now I'm left with x plus 1 on the left-hand side, and the square root of 25 is 5. Now, there's always going to be two options. You're going to have a positive 5 and a negative 5. This is going to break up into two equations. One where you have the positive 5 and one where you have the negative 5. So we're going to subtract 1 from both sides, and you get x is equal to 4 and x is equal to negative 6. Okay, I hope this makes a little more sense, and if you need more help, please feel free to let me know.